So how many times have you been on social media and you've seen a story or some information and you look at it and you just go, no, it can't be right, surely not. Well, it seems this one I'm talking about has caused a bit of panic. Let me just remind you, though, spreading false information about COVID-19 is a criminal offence. It's the Financial Sector Conduct Authority. It's issuing a very strong warning following rumours, and here's the one I'm talking about, that you could lose your life insurance if you test positive for COVID-19. Obviously, these reports are inaccurate and causing fear and anxiety amongst the public. Let's find out just how serious this is and the kind of concerns it has as far as the financial sector is concerned. Mr. Felix Kagura from Standard Bank, good morning to you. Thanks for your time in speaking to us here on eNCA. You're the head of insurance. I imagine, Felix, when you saw those social media posts and the reactions, you started panicking because people believe social media before they believe the experts.
Thank you so much for having me. And yes, indeed, we are very concerned about that rumor that is going around on social media. Of course, kind of like confirms the power of social media in our modern age. It's also surprising that this rumor has been going around not only in South Africa, but overseas as well. But I think the advantage that we have in South Africa is that the regulator has gone out to indicate clearly that this rumor is false. And we've also gone out to assure our clients that that, in fact, is not the case. Firstly, life insurance does not operate that way. And secondly, we really would appreciate any efforts that help and maintain the health of our clients and our policy holders. So certainly we're very concerned and we are hoping that this will be cleared.
Felix, you say that life insurance and life policies doesn't work that way, but since the beginning of 2020, life is not the same, obviously. How has life insurance policies changed? Surely the financial sector and banks such as yourself must be adapting in some way to COVID-19, whether it's because somebody has a comorbidity, whether they've had COVID-19 once, whether they've had a vaccine, whether they don't want to go for a vaccine. In fact, let me pick up on that last point. I just realized now, what happens if the vaccinations are available for herd immunity and I don't want to go for a vaccine? What happens to my life policy?
Well, at this point, that call has not been met. So the encouragement is for people to go for vaccination once it's available. I think it's important to emphasize that they probably clarify that the social media clips and messages that we've seen were saying that the life insurance policies will be cancelled because the vaccinations rollouts that are in trial phase and they are being tested and they are effectively experiments. Yeah. That's not true, and that's not the way we are looking at things. The expectation is that once the vaccinations are available and they have been rolled out, we expect people to take them and many people to go for them. But this is not really, and this hasn't been a condition of policies that one has to be vaccinated. If you think about it, we've had many vaccinations in the past. And there are people who've gone for vaccinations and those who haven't. And policy conditions have not been determinant on that. If there's any change that needs to be brought in, then it's going to come in the policy wording and the clients will be advised and things will proceed that way. You would imagine that the bulk of those changes will literally come on new business, not on policies that are already in force.
All right, so Felix, you're saying that having a positive test for COVID-19 won't result in a life insurance policy being terminated. Fine. Is there anything that can change in your life insurance policy if you get tested positive for COVID-19? Is there any condition that changes whatsoever?
Not at the moment. The changes that we saw, and we saw the bulk of them last year, and the Standard Bank, we did implement some of them as well, and it was across the industry, was that many players came out to support the policyholders, and in many cases, the policyholders were given opportunities, sometimes to miss premiums, sometimes to approach the life insurer if there was a challenge that they faced. So the terms and conditions of cover have really not changed. Of course, policy order providers do expect potential clients to go through the normal underwriting process. So as part of the underwriting, there might be questions that relate to COVID. The important thing that I would say is that clients need to be truthful at that point of taking a policy and ensure that they're saying the truth about their health and their health conditions.
All right, that's the last question I'm going to have for you now, Felix. Briefly, if we could, let's talk about the untimely death of someone and a life insurance policy. In its current state, if all medical conditions are declared, life insurance policies will be paid out to the next of kin. Let me throw a scenario at you, because I'm sure it's happened. If not, I'm sure it's going to happen, sadly. Someone passes away. They don't know they had COVID-19. There was no suspicion of it. They never went for a vaccine. They never went for a test. No one knew they had COVID-19, but it's been determined that they had COVID-19. Will the life insurance policy still pay out? Final question to you briefly, please.
Yes, I can confirm life insurance will pay out. And in most of the cases, in most of the policies, certainly in all our policies, there's no condition that says COVID is an issue. And so life insurance will pay out in that case.
It's always such a pleasure speaking to you, Felix, making very, very simple sense of very complicated matters. Always a pleasure. Mr. Felix Kagura, Standard Bank Group Head of Insurance. And I hope I was asking the questions that many of you were wondering about as far as life insurance is concerned. Strong warning that the rumours of you losing your life insurance if you test positive for COVID-19, absolutely false. False news, fake news, doesn't happen.